Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into something that's got, well, the whole internet buzzing: AI video podcast software. The kind that says it can, turn any idea into a polished video podcast without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, and the sheer number of claims being made about this product is really interesting, right? Everything from instant podcast creation to effortless monetization. It seems like it really speaks to the desire for that quick and easy content creation.
Oh, absolutely, especially with how much video podcasts have blown up recently, right? I mean, going viral in minutes, who wouldn't want that? But is that even possible? And if it is there some kind of trade-off? Like, are we sacrificing quality just to get things done faster?
That's a good question. And I think to really get into it, we have to start by understanding where AI is right now, right? I mean, we've seen some amazing things, especially in areas like natural language processing.
In image generation.
Right. But can AI really handle everything that goes into creating a video podcast? Like from writing a script that actually grab people to making sure the visuals are top notch? I'm not so sure.
Okay, so maybe effortless is a little, well, optimistic, but let's say it can do what it says. Who's this actually for? Is it made for people just starting out, or are we talking seasoned podcast veterans?
That's a great question. And I think the marketing materials seem to suggest it's for everyone. Newbies, expert marketers, you name it. But realistically, I think someone with at least a basic understanding of podcasting and how marketing works would probably benefit the most, right?
Yeah, because even if the AI does all the technical stuff, you still got to have a good idea in the first place, right? And know how to make your content something people actually want to watch, and how to promote it. Speaking of promotion, this whole affiliate marketing thing is really interesting. 50% commissions, potentially making almost $300 per customer. They seem to be really pushing the money-making side of this.
Yeah, and the affiliate marketing model itself isn't uncommon, especially for digital products. It can work out really well for both the people who make the product and the affiliates, right? But it's interesting how much the focus seems to be on the earning. They almost overshadows the product itself.
It's almost like they're saying, hey, forget about all the technical stuff. Just look at how much money you can make. And then they're also playing the time-limited offer card, the deadlines for the contest. It all just adds to this pressure to jump in without thinking too hard.
Yeah, that's the classic scarcity tactic, right? They're trying to create a sense of urgency to maybe bypass a more thoughtful evaluation of the product itself. I mean, we're wired to react to scarcity, right? We see something as more valuable when we think there's not a lot of it.
So we've got these bold claims, a target audience that seems to include everyone, a huge emphasis on making money, and a launch strategy built around FOMO. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think it's time to dig a little deeper. What are the features they're highlighting? How do they say they're using AI in this whole creation process? Let's look at the details and see if it lives up to all the hype. So, from the information you've got, one thing they really push is this idea of instant podcast creation, right? They say you can take anything, an idea, a keyword, or even something trending, and turn it into a video podcast in just a couple clicks.
It really seems like they're playing into that whole need for speed, right? Like, we live in a world where we want things right now, instant gratification. But is that even realistic when it comes to making something as complex as a video podcast?
That's the big question, isn't it? And I think, at least right now, the answer's probably not a complete yes. AI can help with some stuff, for sure, but it's important to remember that there are limits to what it can do. Take writing a script, for example. AI can generate text, sure, but can it really get those little things that make a podcast good? The storytelling, the personality, the humor.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And what about the visuals? It's not just what you hear. Can AI actually make graphics and edit videos in a way that looks professional and keeps people engaged?
I have my doubts. AI's come a long way with image generation, but creating a visual style that matches the audio, that's a whole other thing. You need to understand things like aesthetics, composition, things that, at least for now, are mostly done by humans.
So even if this software can do some of the technical stuff, it's not a magic wand. You still need to bring your own ideas and your own style to the table. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about the monetization aspect. They talk a lot about how easy it is to make money from these AI-generated podcasts on platforms like YouTube.
And that's where things get really interesting, right? I mean, places like YouTube have opened up these huge opportunities for creators to get a global audience and earn money from their work, but it's also really competitive. Just putting content out there doesn't mean you'll be successful.
Absolutely. You have to know who you're making content for. create something they actually connect with, and then you have to market it the right way. And that all takes time, effort, and a good strategy.
Exactly. And this goes back to who this product is really for. They say it's for everybody, from beginners to experts. But if you're already a marketing pro, you probably know this stuff already, right? And if you're just starting out, wouldn't it be better to learn the basics first before investing in something like this?
It almost feels like they're trying to appeal to way too many people, you know? And as you said before, when something tries to be everything to everyone, it often ends up not being quite right for anybody.
Right, and that's something for anyone thinking about buying this to keep in mind. Does this product actually fit with what you need, with your skill level and what you want to achieve with your video podcast?
So we've talked about the potential good and bad of AI in video podcasts, knowing who you're making content for and being strategic about making money. But what about those testimonials and the fact that there's this limited time offer?
Yeah, that's classic marketing, right? Trying to create a sense of urgency, a fear of missing out. Testimonials, especially the ones that show amazing results, can be really convincing. But they're only showing you a small number of people and might not be the same for everybody, you know? And that time limit, that's just a clever way to get people to make a decision without really thinking about it.
So what's the bottom line for someone who's interested in this software but wants to make a smart decision?
I think you have to look at these claims with a bit of healthy skepticism, right? Don't get swept up in all the hype. What's the evidence for what they're saying? What are the potential downsides? And most importantly, does this actually fit with what you want to do with your podcast?
Those are great questions to consider. And even if AI can help with some of the work, it's still your own creativity, your voice, that's going to make your podcast unique. It's wild to think about how this all ties into the bigger picture of AI. We've been talking about this video podcast software, but this is just one tiny part of it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, AI is changing everything so fast. And what we're seeing with content creation is just the beginning.
Totally. I mean, think about it. Personalized news feeds, those AI writing tools, even those algorithms on social media that decide what you see, AI is already controlling how we see and use information.
And it's only going to get bigger, right?
Exactly. And it makes me wonder, what's next for how we create content? Are we heading towards a future where AI is making most of what we watch and read? And what happens to human creativity then?
Those are huge questions. I don't think there's an easy answer. Some people think AI will just make human creativity better, give us new tools to express ourselves.
Yeah, like a collaborator almost.
Right. But then others are worried that it'll make everything start to sound and look the same, like a loss of individuality.
Like we're at this fork in the road. We've got this incredible technology that could completely change how we make and consume content, but it also comes with these potential risks. So what can we do about it?
I think for me, the biggest thing is staying informed and really thinking critically about all of this. Don't just accept everything you see and hear at face value. Ask questions. Think about the potential downsides and the ethical implications.
And I guess remembering that AI is just a tool, right? It could be used for good and bad.
Exactly. It's up to us to make sure it's used responsibly.
That's a really important point. So as we wrap up this deep dive into AI video podcast software, I want to leave everyone with this. The future of content creation is happening now, and we all have a part to play in it. Don't be scared to try new things, but do it with open eyes and a sense of responsibility, because ultimately, it's your creativity and voice that will make your content stand out from the crowd. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and we'll see you in the next one.